All right, this is your coach James Wilson. I'm going to go over your MTB Kettlebell Conditioning Program manual, show you where to find everything, kind of the fast way to get started. So after you've downloaded your program manual, you're going to open up this MTB Kettlebell Conditioning manual and shrink this down a little bit. So this is it. Getting into it, you're going to find your table of contents where you're going to find everything in the manual. You're getting started. You've got your links to both this video and the video to the training logs overview. This is just a basic workout overview. You know, each workout you're going to start out with a warm-up, then do your strength training circuits, and then do your cardio training. So this is where you're going to find the info that you need in order to do those sections of the workout. So your warm-up drill here, just some basic advice for that. You know, 3 to 5 minutes of some light jogging or pedaling on your bike. I also recommend some foam rolling. So you can do a search at my blog at bikejames.com to find out more about foam rolling. Your warm-up drill is really straightforward. I recommend doing this once or twice, going through this sequence once or twice before you work out. You know, your chest stretch, hip flexor stretch, 30 seconds on each side, you know, 3 to 5 reps on your tactical frog. It's, you know, pretty straightforward. It's a pretty simple drill. These are your handouts, your coaching cue handouts, as I call them in my facility, your exercise demos, so that you can see how to perform the different exercises in your warm-up drill. And so for the tactical frog, just kind of a clarification thing on this, you're in this position, you're pulling your butt back towards your heels, you're rocking forward on your elbows, pulling back and rocking forward. You're doing that like 3 to 5 times. Then you're doing this leg lift, you know, lifting on one, lifting on the other. Do that 2 times on each leg, and then you go back to the hip rock and then do the leg lift a couple times. You're going to go through this sequence 3 to 5 times. So that's how you do the tactical frog. You got your halo. Remember, you want to come around one way and then back around the other for 1 rep. Your touch the wall deadlifts. Let your chest come down to the ground. That's going to be the thing that a lot of people are going to fight. So, you know, butt back, chest down, you'll be fine. Down dog to cobra, squeeze your glutes, help protect your lower back. So that's pretty much it with your warm-up drill. Like I said, real straightforward. I recommend doing that thing every day, but definitely before you do your workout program. So your strength training circuits, now you're not going to find the workouts in this manual. The specific exercises, sets, and reps are listed in your training logs. So this training logs folder that you downloaded as well is where you're going to find that. Now I got a video that goes over those training logs in great detail, so I'm going to skip over some stuff right now because I don't need to go into it in detail because I'm going to do it in context of the workouts there. So Evernote there to let me know. So you know, after you've warmed up, you've optimized your range of motion, we're going to get after trying to add some strength to the hips, the upper back, and the core. Each phase has something specific that we're trying to accomplish. Phase 1 is teaching you the basic movements and really ingraining those things. In phase 2, we're going to ramp it up. We're going to introduce things like the swing and an overhead press. We're also going to ramp up the cardio training. And then finally in phase 3, again, we're going to introduce a few more more complicated exercises and ramp up the cardio a little bit more. So doing them in this order is very important. Like, it's not a matter of like, oh, let's find the hardest phase and I'm just going to do that. Like, phase 1 sets the stage for phase 2, which sets the stage for phase 3. So do them in that order to get the most out of the program. Circuits, just a quick word on the circuits. It's everything that you do in your workout, you're going to have 2 or 3 exercises grouped together into circuits. So that means to do 1 set of the first exercise, rest 15 to 30 seconds, and then move to the next exercise in the circuit, you know, rest 15 to 30 seconds. Like, you're going to go alternate exercises in the circuit until you've done all the sets for each one. So again, I go over that in the training logs overview video, as well as rep ladders. Again, I'm not going to get into this too deeply here, but rep ladders are where you change reps every set. So you climb up the ladder. So for example, you know, you would do 5 swings, next time you come through 10 swings, next time you come through 15 swings, and then you're going to go through that sequence 2 to 3 times. So we call it climbing up the ladder. How many times, how many rungs are in the ladder, what are the rungs, and then how many times are you going up the ladder. And so so that's how the rep ladders work. They're a really great way for getting a lot of high quality volume in, which is really important for us as mountain bikers. And so and then finally, challenge weeks. Again, more detail on the other video, but on week 4, every 4 weeks, you're going to challenge yourself on specific exercises. You'll see some of the exercises, the last set is the reps are highlighted in red and has a plus after it. So that means that you can do as many reps as you can with good form on those exercises. So week 4 is our challenge week, where we're going to push ourselves on a couple of these exercises. Choosing a starting weight. If you haven't bought your first kettlebell yet, then here's how to figure out what weight you need. 9 keys to getting the most out of strength training. I tell people that train in my facility, for the first few weeks, I'm trying to fix what's going on from the neck up so that I can get what's going on with the rest of your body to do what we want. You have to have the right mindset to understand the difference between training and just mindlessly working out. And so these things here are the keys that I've found over years of working with people for helping you get more out of your training program from the mindset standpoint. So make sure you check that out. Here are your exercise demos and coaching cue handouts. I've got them grouped together based on which workout you first see them in. So your phase 1 program, you can see we're going to get introduced to a bunch of exercises with this one, but this is where you're going to find how to do the exercises, the pictures and the descriptions. I highly recommend, if you print off nothing else out of this manual, to print off these exercise descriptions and put them in a 3-ring binder and keep them handy while you're doing your workout program, and it's going to make it so much easier for you to get through this workout. So this is where you're going to find how to do all the exercises. Now, I don't include exercises if you've already done them. So for example, here in phase 2 workout A, there's more than just this in the workout program, but you've done some of these exercises already in phase 1, so I don't include them with this here. So you're basically going to see the exercises in the workout that you first do them in. I assume that if you've spent 4 weeks doing an exercise, that you don't need a reminder again on how to do it. So so that's it. So as you can see, there's quite a few exercises that you're going to learn, but again, they're covered in really good detail in these handouts. So finally, our cardio conditioning. The basic idea with our cardio conditioning is we're trying to increase the body's ability to produce and sustain tension. That's one of the big differences between mountain biking and road riding, is that we have more high tension efforts, low RPM grinds, sprinting, trying to hold our line through a rough technical descent, standing up to pedal. All of these things require more muscular tension, which requires a different type of cardio fitness than sitting down on your seat and spinning a high RPM cadence on a road bike. And so that's what we're trying to attack with our cardio program here. So so this just goes over a little bit about what we're trying to accomplish. Timing your intervals. I highly recommend you get a Gym Boss timer. There's a link to it right here. It's only $20, and it fills the need for an interval timer better than anything else I've found. I've got probably a half dozen of those things in my facility. I use them all the time. They're great. So definitely recommend you get one of those. It'll make timing your intervals way easier. So we've got 2 kinds of intervals. Again, I go into it in more detail here, so be sure and read this, but you've got your lactic explosive intervals and your lactic capacity intervals. So your lactic explosive intervals in phase 1, you're going to want to use a stationary bike, or your bike you're on a trainer, or jump rope, or sprinting, or something real simple and basic. In phase 2, you're going to want to start using swings as your conditioning method for the lactic explosive intervals. So this is working on that ability to go max effort for a short period of time and then get a little bit of recovery and then do it again. So keep that in mind while you're doing this. I also go over how to add an extra cardio challenge. Like again, in the training logs overview, I kind of go over this in more detail, but doing your assigned workout once is one series. If you want to do more than that, you can rest 6 to 8 minutes. Make sure your heart rate drops down to at least 130 to 140 beats per minute. And then you can go through your cardio workout again and build up to 2 to 4 total series that way. As long as your heart rate's recovering to 130 to 140 and you're able to sustain your intensity, then you can continue to add series and do some more cardio work if you want. So one series is plenty, but this is just for those of you that want a little something extra. So you can do your cardio workout, rest for 6 to 8 minutes, and then add a couple more series onto it. So same thing goes for these lactic capacity intervals. You can add series to them as well. But these are basically a combo drill. We're going to use a kettlebell combo countdown drill. And so for this, we're going to combine a swing, a goblet squat, and a two-handed shoulder press. And we're going to count down the reps each time we go through the sequence. So you're going to start out and you're going to do 20 swings, immediately pick the kettlebell up to your goblet squat position and do 10 goblet squats, and then immediately press the kettlebell over your head 5 times. Then you're going to come back to swings, immediately go to swings again. You're doing 15, 8 goblet squats, 3 two-handed shoulder presses, and then finally 10 swings, 5 goblet squats, and 1 two-handed shoulder press. So you see, each time you go through the sequence, you're going to decrease the reps or countdown. And so that's basically how that works. If we are timing this, so you're going to see on your training logs a specific amount of time that you're doing this drill for. So if you don't get all the way through the whole countdown sequence, that's fine. Just stop where you're at. If you get all the way down through the countdown sequence, you finish with your last two-handed shoulder press and there's still time left, go back to your swings and do your 10-5-1 rung of that countdown drill if you need to continue doing some work. But odds are, if you've got some extra time, the 10 swings will kill that time. So, but anyways, that's basically it. If you stop working when the timer goes off. So, whenever that is. So, this kind of explains how that works, how to add the series. These are the 3 exercises that we're doing. Here's the pages where you can find the descriptions on these specific exercises. So again, your swings, immediately when you're done with your swings, pull the kettlebell up to your goblet position, do your goblet squats, and then immediately you can see here you just need to go from your goblet position to pressing the weight overhead. So immediately back up. So the idea is to just keep working. Try not to put the kettlebell down until the timer goes off. Obviously, if you need to get some rest, then do that. But your goal is to not need to do that. So that's how that works. You've got your two-handed press exercise description here because that's the only time you do it is in this countdown combo drill. So here we've got our weekly training schedules. Just real quick, it basically breaks down to how many hours per week you have to train. Unless you are a very advanced pro rider who makes a living based on riding, you don't need to worry about in-season versus off-season training. You just need to adjust how much time you're spending with strength training based on how much time you're riding. So during the season, you're going to ride more and strength train less. It's not rocket science. It's really about as advanced as most of us need to get. I also expect that you're going to ride your bike, so don't worry about that. Unless you're putting in way more than 8 hours per week in the saddle, you really don't need to worry about how your riding is going to affect this program. So the weekly schedules, you're just going to pick how many hours per week do I want to train, and then we're going to break this down. You've got your strength training workouts, you got your cardio training workouts. And this right here, I'm a big believer in doing a little something every day. It's kind of like the old Dan Gable saying, if it's important, do it every day. If it's not important, don't do it at all. So even on the days that I don't do a regular workout, I like to get a little short, I call them 15-minute trail rider tune-ups, and they're just a short little workout that lets me get some extra core and mobility work in. I've included 2 of these workouts with this manual, but I have a bunch more of them on my Inner Circle website. So if you like the 2 in this program and you want some more options, then check out that site and you'll be able to find a lot more. So this one right here, the 3 hours per week to train, this is what I call the gold standard. We should be aiming to hit this 80% of the time. If you're able to train more than that, great, but don't knock yourself out. I mean, you're going to get better results from 4 times. a week than 3, but they're not going to be, as huge as going from 2 times a week to 3 times a week. So 3 times a week is what I tell most people to shoot for. You can see, just do the workout on the day that it's listed. You're alternating weeks 1 and week 2 throughout the 12 weeks. So pretty straightforward there. 4 hours per week to train. If you're not riding much, then definitely spend more time in the gym. And so this is going to help you do that. And then finally, your 2 hours per week to train. This is for when the riding season or just real life is not letting you get in the gym very much. You're not going to be able to make much in the way of gains with this, but you will be able to sustain what you've got and just kind of maintain it. So, and this really is a good in-season training program for those of you that are worried about that kind of thing. Working out twice a week. The best advice I ever got was from Mike Boyle on how to peak for a sport like mountain biking, and he said the best way to peak is to not decline. And for a season as long and as grinding as mountain biking's is, that's your main goal, is not to decline. So a couple workouts a week, are going to be plenty for just maintaining. So it's fine if you got 2 hours per week to train. This is the best way to break it down. So those trail rider tune-ups, here's the instructions on how to do them. Really straightforward. You've got this is the workout. You will need to watch the video in order to see the different exercises and how they group together. Just click on that link when asked for a password. Use that password. So this is the other one that I have included. And finally, nutrition and supplements. The basic 1, 2, 3s of good nutrition. Some basic advice. I'm a simple man, and I believe that most riders really just need a simple approach to nutrition. And so if you're able to actually do what I have written on these 2 or 3 pages, 90% of the time, then you're good. I mean, you're probably going to be plenty happy with your nutrition and where it's at. So this super shake here, this is a protein shake that I eat probably 1 or 2 of these a day. Great quick breakfast. Fill in fill in a gap kind of snack. Knowing how to time what you eat around your workouts in order to get the most out of them is really important. So I've got a special report on how to eat before, during, and after your workouts in order to get the most out of them. And then finally, I've got a couple meal options. So just how do you put some of those things that I talked about into practice? And so this is it. These are some good meal and snack options for you. And then finally, last but not least, we've got our FAQs. So if you have a question, check this out, because a lot of the frequently asked questions I get about kettlebell training, I've already answered here. So that's pretty much it. So that's your manual. Next thing for you to do is print off your phase 1 training log and then check out the video where I go over that so you can see how all that works and get cracking with your workouts. So hopefully this has helped you make more sense of everything. If you got any questions, let me know. Good luck with everything, and definitely keep me posted on your results.